Hey, housewives, welcome back.
Welcome back. Hey, hey.
Oh, we are excited to do another episode, just the two of us, where we dive into, you know, things that we're just these real worn out women right here talking about the hard stuff and bringing you the real talk.
Can I jump in here as a 2000s, 90s baby for a moment?
2000s, 90s.
I was in the 90s, I was 4 starting the 90s.
Okay,
But
so
the
90s into the
2000,
2000s.
yes.
Okay.
But when you said just the 2 of us, I so want if I had any singing voice at all, I wanted to start singing the Will Smith redo of Just the
Two
2
of
of
us.
us.
Mhm.
We can make it if we try,
There you
just
go.
the 2 of us. I had to
See,
see
you had a singing voice. You
a
just
little
nailed
bit.
it. It was good.
You can it's amazing what you can do with auto tune. Thank you, Britney Spears.
Uh,
Oh, yes. Okay, so we had a really fun experience last night. We had the opportunity to have over for dinner another family that has an older daughter who's in college, and she's super active in sports, and my girls just really look up to her.
mhm,
And so, like, she's like a little celebrity to them because
mhm.
she happened to go to their school, and so, like, they have a lot of commonalities and they know the teachers, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I had so." And so it was a school night, but we just had this opportunity to have them over for dinner, and I think my girls are gonna be on a literal high
Mhm.
for the rest of the year because it was like, "Oh my gosh, we had" and it was just as simple again as having another family over for dinner
Yeah.
because that towards the end, I think the girls wanted to show her their rooms, and then
Mhm.
before I knew it, they were upstairs playing volleyball in Andrew and I's bedroom, bump set spike, and she was like, "I hope we didn't break anything." I was like, "Wouldn't be the first time
Right,
that
right.
some kind of sport has broken something in this house."
Mhm. Yep.
But yeah, they just had the greatest time. Now, granted, I don't recommend 10:30 bedtimes after
On a
that
school night,
on
yeah,
a school
mhm.
night. They were little monsters trying to get up this morning and like, "Arr," and I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna pretend not to notice this."
Yes.
But it just brought up the topic about how, yeah, I mean, was it something simple? I mean, it was totally simple, inviting
Yeah,
another family over for dinner.
right.
Andrew and I have to we cleaned the house and straightened up. It took,
It took a little bit on yours and Andrew's part.
right, to make it, and scheduling, right?
Mhm.
And then, and cook dinner. That was it. But we were talking about how, like, just, you know, gosh, I want to provide more of those for our kids. And we were talking about it and that, like, it's the experiences, it's the moments or the
Mhm.
opportunities to meet people and that is over the gosh darn the stuff.
Yeah. Well,
Mm,
what you're talking about is just how they were feeling. They were on cloud 9,
yeah.
and it was so simple. It was, just being encouraged and inspired by someone who's a little bit older, and we feel that way when, we meet someone that is, like, an author of a book we've read. I mean, we've even met some incredible people as guests on here, and we feel that, like, excitement over an experience of just talking to someone,
Yeah.
and it's how you feel, it's not what you have out of it. And that's really what came out of that conversation that you guys had last night. And we just got to talking about, the little experiences that we do that mean something to our kids.
Yeah.
And it's hard because we want our kids to be happy. We want them to have everything. Mamas, there's a lot of grace out there for us for when we have fallen short and bought it anyway, because we either felt guilty or we were
Or
like, you know what? This is just going to be better. It's going to shut them up. It's going to make them happy. They're going to stop asking about it.
Or even the fact that we sometimes will we cave simply because they're like, "Well, all my friends have it." And you're like, "Okay, if they don't have this, then they're gonna be made fun of or they're gonna be left out." And you want to make sure that they're on the group text
Mhm.
with everybody. And then, "Well, I don't have," and you go through that mom scenario of like, "Okay, well, I don't want to be the reason my kids not in the
The
group,
no
in the
or
know
yeah.
of everything
Mhm.
because I can't do this for them." And
But we're
that's
also like in this conversation, we're gonna be real like honest because we've fallen short and we're gonna tell you what we've done that's right. And there's going to be no shame and no guilt in here for the mama heart that's going, I can't do that or I can't do that because there's something that you can do. And God just calls us to show up for our kids
Yep.
and in our home. And He does not call us to meet their every need. Well, yes, food, sleep, water, right?
Right.
Taking
The
care of them.
basics.
Yes.
Mhm.
But it's not the things.
And
And go ahead.
and technically, we don't even have to meet their food needs. Jesus is the bread of life and their living water.
Yes.
So,
Amen.
really, we can leave that up to Jesus. So, that's how I
Well,
feel.
I mean, yes and no. They might get a little hungry.
Maybe. That's fine. That's fine. So, then I would do better, and I'll feed you. No, okay, so you have done these rite of passage trips
Hmm.
with your kiddos. I know one of them is still in queue
Yeah.
because it's coming up.
Hmm.
A couple of things have happened since then.
Yeah.
So, grace for that. But you did these really cool one-on-one trips with you and your husband
Hmm.
and then said child. So,
Yeah.
talk about those 2 and why you did those.
Well, for us, it was more or less we're a big family. We have 4 kids, and our kids don't get individual time a lot. They just don't. When they were younger, there was always someone, right? They had to go with me. Dad was at work, and in order to go to one activity, everybody had to go. And we have tried and have failed. We need to do better at doing the one on one dates. We get them when it's like, oh, I'm going to drive you to soccer. And then after, I'm going to just pick up dinner with you and come home. So we squeeze it in, but we're not as intentional about the one on one things. But we wanted to make sure that middle school, like right after elementary and before middle school, we took the kids and went on just a little weekend trip where we had all the conversations, the ones that, maybe are a little awkward. We're going to talk about, sex.
Sex
Hmm.
for those that can't spell. Just want
We're going to make sure. At this point, I think we've covered that now with
we
all of
know
them.
what, but the bio, how that actually works. Got it.
But it was like, especially with the first one, we're like, okay, we're going to cover all the topics. We're going to talk about bullying. We're going to talk about friendships. We're going to talk about responsibilities. We're going to talk about your walk with the Lord individually, just all the things. And there was no like agenda. It was just that naturally we wanted to be able to like pour into our kids and have one on one time while having fun, right? Like, and having a really great time. And we did something specific for each, the top 2 so far. We haven't done the third one yet, and he's a little bit behind, but COVID threw in there, not being able to travel and all the things. And so we got a little behind. And
Did
then
you hear that RNP, the top 2? You guys are the top 2? I take that as you guys are the favorites.
just so you know, they are the top as in oldest.
Yes, I know.
And mind you, I have text group chats and I have top 2, top 3, bottom 2, bottom 3.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh,
because I
that's
have to
hilarious.
text specific kids for when I'm picking up and who's at school and what's doing whatever.
Yeah,
So that's how it goes. That's
that's
how I can like find them quick and I don't have to go and add my kid every time to a text string.
see, and this is why I want to say stop at 2 people. But that's if you've already gone there, you've already gone there. I can't help you. So go
But
ahead.
yeah, so those trips we do, it is just the one and only one on one with each of them. It's really awesome. But the one thing that I do want to encourage, if you can't do that, it's really okay. Sometimes your kids just want to go grab a Starbucks and sit and talk. And I know that sounds weird, but
And
they will.
yes, and
It's either food or drink. Got to have that combo in there.
yes. And I would even say sometimes it's not even like going like whatever, Starbucks or
Right.
wherever their favorite drink place is, but going and then getting back in the car and sitting
Mhm.
side by side because I have found that wow, they are so much more open when you are not sitting across the table from them looking at them eye to eye and just being like,
100%.
and really, I mean, if they're looking forward and you're looking forward in the car, amazing.
Mhm.
I have even they were the stage where they were in the back seat.
Yep.
I mean, that was even better for some
My kids love to
conversations.
just drive and listen to music.
Yeah.
They go on drives on the weekends. It's a lot of gas, but
Well, I was gonna say, but they're at
drives
the
and
point where
music.
they're at the page where they're driving now. That's
Yes, but
freedom.
even your middle schoolers would love for you to do that.
Oh,
Get in the
yeah.
car and just go and drive and be like, "Hey, let's just go for a drive tonight." They're like, "What? We can leave the house?" Like, it's just something to do.
Fun there.
Mhm.
Well, that is definitely something that I love how you do that, the one-on-ones with the kiddos. And then something that we did a couple of years ago that the girls loved was we planned for their Christmas gift was a road trip to do some fun things that they knew and that they were going to be excited about. So we gave them actually little pebbles that we had engraved and they spelled out all the locations which was really fun. So
Fun.
it was like a little puzzle that they had to do to because they were like, "What are these rocks?" And I was like, "What does it spell?" And so that was the spring break that we took a road trip to. We did Laurel, Mississippi,
What
which
was there?
hometown, which is Ben and Aaron, the HGTV show.
Oh,
Yes,
okay, okay,
and
mhm.
they have all their little stores, and
Yeah,
it's a very chic location. And so we stayed downtown. It was so fun. And they again, I think my girls like to see things on TV and be like, "Oh my gosh, I've been there. It's
yeah,
real."
yeah,
Just the little thing of that.
mhm,
And then we did that, and then we did Gulf Shores, Alabama.
mhm.
It was a little chilly.
It is.
Just
Spring break.
spring
We've
break.
tried it twice. Nope,
Ooh.
just still too cold in March.
Yep. But it was a different experience for the beach, and so we did
Mhm.
that for a couple of days, and then we drove on the way down to Florida State and stayed and for a weekend and watched softball games. And the girls loved it. They got to meet some players, and I mean, it just again, the whole experience, and they got to walk the campus. I mean, we're a Florida State family, and so they've heard of Florida State their entire lives,
Right, yeah.
and so we took a picture in front of the sorority house that grandma was at,
Aw.
and so we have that picture, and then, and all the softball opportunities you can, and when you're there, you buy all the swag you possibly can because you can't then you have to buy it online, right?
Yeah,
So
it's
you're
true.
might as well. And that was something that was really fun. I mean, it was a 10-day road trip. I mean,
Mhm.
that was really and I was a little nervous that we would not come home with all said people that we left with and that I might leave one
Road
or
trips are a little exhausting for folks.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
even now, I mean, as a kid, I remember road trips. I would just plug in
Yeah,
my
you remember looking out the window.
well, I had a CD player.
Oh, okay.
I had a CD
Mhm.
player, and because I was an only child, my parents would take the back of the SUV and lay all the seats down,
Mhm.
and then I would have a sleeping bag, and I had a little pallet in the
You
back,
mean you
so
didn't have to buckle?
I didn't have to buckle. No, I didn't, and I all the way from Texas to Angel Fire, New Mexico. It was wonderful.
That's crazy.
It was yeah, those were
I
wild
mean,
days.
I used to crawl up into the back window and take my naps while we road tripped, like, of the
What kind
car.
of car?
What
Because you had to
the
have a shelf, right?
Yeah,
The back would
yeah, there was. It was a bit I mean, it was about I don't remember what it was.
and then it
And
be
I would crawl back up into yeah, the back
yeah.
seat went up and then there was, there was there
This
was
little
a
shelf,
thing,
but
and I
then
would
you're
just crawl up there.
but dad who's driving couldn't see in
No,
the rearview mirror?
no,
Nope, didn't care.
mm-mm, nope.
Just saw his baby girl.
Yep.
That's all his right, she's still
That and
asleep.
we had an Astro van.
Yes, the
Mhm.
Astrovan.
Yeah, that was a good road trip.
That was we did I remember on the way to camping trips, we took the Astrovan on a
Ours was
couple of
green
camping
and it looked like the dark green, it looked like the Mr. T van. It was amazing.
Ours was light blue. And my dad, because he would make deliveries, he only had the two front chairs in, so
Mhm.
the 3rd row was always gone.
Yeah.
And so when we had more kids coming in the car with us, we would just all sit in the back low, no seat belts, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, and we would all roll around as the car turns and try to knock each other over. Yeah,
All
that
the
was
things I would never let my children know.
no kidding. You're like, "Wow,
Isn't
dad."
it weird how we've, totally flipped? We're talking about, experiences, and listen to us, we're talking about experiences of what we did as kids, and we didn't even mean to do this.
Yes, this is true.
We were just talking about, taking your kids and going and do something, and then here's our experiences. This is what we remember.
Yeah.
This is our point.
Exactly. Isn't it I mean, the toys, the gifts,
Mhm.
I love you, mom and dad, but things I just don't
I know.
but I remember the trips. I remember
Mhm.
the road trips or the experiences or, the oh my gosh, my parents taking me geocaching all
Yeah.
the time, and I did not want to go. I remember going to oh gosh, we did a long weekend, and again, this is Texas. So you go to some small Texas town and it's one place it was the tomato festival, I think.
Oh,
And
they
then
took you to a tomato festival?
uh-huh, and then we went
Remember it.
I do remember it, and then we also went to a blueberry festival, and I think that was in Nacogdoches. and my dad and I stayed in line. It was the town's, like, fundraiser that
Mhm.
they made blueberry pancakes for everybody, and so my dad and I stayed in line for a ridiculously amount of time because we both wanted blueberry pancakes. I mean, if you're going to the blueberry festival, you're waiting in line for blueberry pancakes. And I remember that. I remember those moments and being like,
Mhm.
"Why are we here?" Because I was preteen or teenager at that
Yeah.
point, and like, "This is lame." Or what's the equivalent word now to lame? What do kids say now? Anything? You've got
I don't
I
know.
mean,
I think things are so lame.
they're still
I
lame?
think they're
Okay,
still
that's good
lame
to
for
know.
kids.
Good to know. Good to know some things don't change. I can
Yeah.
do that. I can
Mhm.
work with that.
Yeah.
But some of the stuff that we forget is that in scripture, specifically Matthew 6:19 through
Mhm.
21 talks about do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth.
Mhm.
I mean, the things of this world we will not take with us. And we will remember memories
Mhm.
with our kids for far longer than the batteries are going to last.
Yeah. And I think one of the things that when you look back on the memories, even for us, when we were kids and with our families and like now with our kids and our husbands, it's about the relationships that are built during that time versus, what it is you even do. I mean, I can still recall one horrible vacation that we had, but it was one of the best from memories standpoint.
Oh, yeah.
And you're constantly growing, you're, engaging in hard times together. And that's where like spiritual formation comes from is when you're with your kids and you're like, this really sucks. But guess what? We don't have control over everything and we have to make the most of it. And that's really where the experience comes from
Yeah.
and the growth versus here's your toy, whatever, or here's this item or this dollar amount thing, go have fun. And then it's like you split,
Right, and as
you
much as
know?
too is to your exact point is that even in the obviously, we want a family vacation to go well. If you're spending the time and effort and saving for it and investing, like that's what you're doing, right? You want to have the picture perfect, quote unquote, family vacation. And so when it all goes up in flames, you're like, and it will,
At some point,
just
not
wait.
all of them.
You're pissed off because you're like, no, this was not this, the kids aren't going to remember this as a great time. Da, 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 da.
Mhm.
But, and that's they're probably not, but they're gonna laugh about it potentially.
Yeah.
Like, I for Thanksgiving, I don't know how, but somehow we have a connecting flight to get to when we fly out to see my parents, and our connecting flight was late. Well, no, our first flight was late to get to our second flight,
Mhm.
and we are running, right, down the airport, like, Home Alone style of running, trying to catch the plane, and my dad has kindly told the stewardess multiple times, "I'm just waiting for my daughter and my grandgirls, and, they'll be here any minute," and they're like, "Oh, sure, sir. We'll hold the plane. Hold on," and then, he's just like, and they're just I haven't seen them, and if they're not on the plane, I can't go back to my wife. Grandma's not going to let me come in the house if I don't have my daughter and my grandbabies. And then I come in and I'm 40 and my daughters come in and that are my size, and they're like, oh, grandbabies, huh? And you're like, well, always a grandbaby, but like they remember like the fear, the fear in
Right?
Juliet's
I'm missing a
voice.
flight.
No, what's gonna happen? Like she hates the unknown and
Mhm.
just so upset. And I was just like, it's okay. I'm trying to calm her down on the tram because we're having to wait. And like, is this the exit? No, we're gonna have to wait for the next turn. Like it's just absolute case. But then like, yes, she remembers having to run to catch
Mhm.
a flight and that her grandpa may have, misled the stewardess that she was a little bit younger, but it's fine. So, but I mean, again, the little mishaps, it's that what they remember.
Yep.
So, what are some other things that you've done,
Mm.
with your kiddos?
Oh my gosh. I'm trying to think of when they were little too.
Well, when they're little, it's the story time.
Yeah, I think experiences were easier when they were little. It was like, let's go to the zoo, and
Yeah.
walk around and see the animals, and let's go to the art place, Wonder scope, and
Yeah,
do all
mhm.
those kinds of things. And I mean, we walked all the time. We walked
Yeah.
all the time. Lots of hiking, lots of trails, lots of, and then, we did the geocaching and all the
Mhm.
things just to be together doing
Sledding.
something. Oh, yeah, we love sledding. Oh,
Mhm. Also, the other thing that your family is really great is game night.
yes, we love games and
Yeah.
cards.
Mhm.
We
You
do that
guys do
often.
you do that a lot, and
Mhm.
I wish we were
We
better
also
about that.
set the table and have family dinners.
That's amazing. What's that like? She's making fun of me because I set the table last night,
I was like, "You should
for
do that more often."
and I was like, "Why? I had people over yesterday." Like, what? This is kidding me?
Mm.
You guys don't know what these are, but we used to my family used to eat on TV trays.
Oh,
Yes,
mm,
and so that's basically what we do now in my family.
yep.
We just kind of all gather and
Hey, but you're gathering.
we're
I'm just giving you
gathering.
a hard time.
We're
And that's
gathering.
only because you shared proof with me that you set the table, so it's your
That's true.
fault.
It is
You
true.
gave
It's
me
true.
ammunition.
I did. But I also texted my mom and I was like, "Aren't you proud? I still know how to set a table." I don't know when the last time I did this was. Probably Thanksgiving when you guys were here.
Yep,
Which
a
yeah.
holiday.
Mhm,
Mhm.
exactly. You know, the other thing that our girls love music. And so
Mm,
when we have the opportunity or we know that there's a musical artist or something that's
mhm.
in the area or we can kind of plan around it, we love taking them to concerts
Yeah,
and stuff because that's fun. That's fun for us too.
yeah.
Like those.
And I would say even on that, they're not getting cheaper. Sadly, concerts are getting
I
more expensive
know.
just like everything else.
Yeah.
And we ask for that for Christmas from grandparents. My parents have always been super generous in that, and that's what they gift us is to do an experience with our kids. They've done it for years, and they just give us money to go towards an experience, and we've done
Oh,
concerts a lot because that's something that we don't go out and do on our own. Because for 6 people, that's a lot.
yeah, that's true.
And so that's something that you can ask for Christmas, in that way too.
Also, sporting events because we're sporting families,
Mhm.
and there's definitely cost-effective ways to do sporting events, and I
Yeah.
don't recommend it's not going to be cheap to go to a Chiefs game or a Dallas Cowboys game by any means, unless you wanna take out of your 401k,
Mhm.
but, like, things of just, you guys go to KU stuff a lot
Yep,
with
this is
I
the
mean
first season we didn't have season tickets since we moved here.
Oh, how
I
did
know.
Mr. Tracy handle that?
Well,
How
I
he
mean, it was his idea too, but it became so since we moved here, that was always his Christmas present. He went in with a buddy and we split the season tickets for home games and we split
Okay.
them and we draft and those were our date nights, our built-in date nights. We would go to dinner and we go to KU game, which I absolutely love too. Like so much to the point that like even just the other night we were like, it's 8 o'clock. I'm like, okay, I can stay up and watch the game,
Yeah.
but we have to I don't know. We have to just keep doing it, even if it's watching it on TV, because it's like a ritual we've created for years now. But he had to give it up. We were struggling getting to the games with all of the kids' activities, and we would sell our tickets. And then we decided not to do it this year, leave it at all.
Had to give it up. He chose.
He did.
Maybe he made it
Hmm.
yeah, which is gosh, that's tough because you
Yeah.
think too when your kids are getting older
Hmm.
and you have like,
Well,
"Hey"
he would take this is another thing I need to tell you. One summer, he did this. He made a point to do Royals games and took each of the kid one by one to a Royals game. So it was just dad, daughter, dad, daughter, dad, son, dad, son. So he hit like
Oh,
4 games and then it was him and I, we went to one game. So he did 5 Royals games and he just looked them up, booked them, and then picked which one was gonna go. So
yeah,
he did that. It was one summer he made that happen.
that's fun.
Mhm.
I think the dad especially daddy-daughter dates,
Yeah.
which where it's just, "Hey, I'm gonna just have that time with you," and, because we're trying to keep our girls off the pole.
Yeah. Well,
You know
and I will just say to this too, that I can speak from both places in this of like having been in the season where we did give our kids all the things. And when we moved from Chicago to here, our housing market was very different back then, 9 years, 9 years ago, 9.5
Yeah.
years ago. But selling our house in Chicago and moving here, we had a big house, we had a pool, like everything was great. And the kids did have a lot. And it was
Mhm.
okay, but it didn't mean we didn't have our own troubles and our own struggles and just the like spoiled attitudes and all the things. And we just downsized this last year. And I have gotten rid of so much stuff and it feels really good. It's also sad to like know that we collected all that, not even knowing stuff that we had, but the decluttering and simplifying, like it has brought so much peace and joy. It's not even funny. Like we are just together all the time now with like without crap. I mean, we still have plenty of stuff, but it's different. We all feel different. The rooms are easier to be picked up and cleaned because there's not as much junk in them. They're more organized. Like, it really is a less is more. And when you're in it, I mean, how many of our friends are like, "Oh, I just wish I could declutter. I wish I could just have this picked up. I wish I could just clean this." Like, we just have too much stuff
Yes.
and we don't need it,
Yes.
but it's hard to move beyond it. So
It
there's
is.
grace for that.
Yes. And which, I say that and I have a 10,000 books in the house, but then I can't like I can't get rid of a book. That
Yeah.
just seems wrong.
I know. I got rid of a lot before we moved. I saved a lot and our basement's not done. So I'm like, we're getting there. But once we go through all that, I'm like, am I going to save them in a library or am I just going to get rid of them? Because I'm definitely going to get rid of everything.
Right. Right. Exactly. I mean, yes. And it's like if it's put away long enough, Andrew and I were just discussing about that, about
Yes.
redoing a room. And if you it's like sneaking out the children's art, right?
Mhm.
Like you're having to smuggle it out of a country.
Mhm.
And cuz what do you do with it?
Mm,
One of the things that I need to do is with Jay's last year of elementary school here, art projects are probably going to be
yep.
done.
Mhm.
And I just want to take pictures of all
Yeah.
of them and just do a mix book or
Yep.
something,
That's what I did.
and just,
Mhm.
hey, here all of this. And then it's like these big versus like a tub that's
Yep.
that big.
Yep.
And then I'm like, maybe I should just do this with all of my stuff that I have saved because
Mhm.
Lord knows I have a tote or
Yep.
two
Yep.
or
I have a couple totes too.
three.
And again, if anyone has advice on how to get rid of like your letter jacket, I don't want to get rid of my letter
I
jacket.
know.
I mean, even my wedding dress, like
I
we moved
know.
that giant box and it's now at my in-laws because there's so much dust with our basement being finished. I'm like, I'm not getting rid of it, but I know my daughters are not going to
I
wear
know.
my wedding
Don't you know
dress.
that? Yes, I
I don't
know.
know. There's just certain things you just can't part with. So if there's some of you out there that got some advice on how to get rid of some of those things, we'll take it.
Please do. I mean, because, the girls saw our photo albums of our wedding for the first time, I guess, or recently, because we were looking for some friends that were in the wedding. And they're like, who's that? Who's that? What is this?
Mhm.
Like, oh, and you don't realize, and you're like, but I have these pictures, you know? And it was nice to flip through them because, it scrolling my phone is not the same
No.
as flipping through
Photo
pictures.
album.
I
Mhm.
do, I do, and I did last year, that was one of the things that I did. I made a scrapbook of some of the stuff that I did in 2024, and I just went through and printed all the photos, like, I waited for a penny sale on Shutterfly
Mhm.
to print 100 pictures of for the girls, for them both to have, and they could do whatever they wanted with them, and,
Yep.
they'll paper is still paper. It still beats everyday stuff.
Yep.
Well, let I hope that you found mamas, I hope you found this encouraging because this was not, like Tracy said, we have done this wrong. We live in a very
Mhm.
spoiled area of Kansas. And so, Lord knows that Tracy and I have played keeping up with the Joneses with our kids
Mhm.
and with the stuff and with the accessories,
Oh,
as the
yeah.
ladies like to call it.
We definitely are right there. We're with you. If you're feeling guilty, don't. But if you
Yeah.
do, we do the Target trips and the Starbucks runs and the Amazon add to carts.
Yes.
So we have our own problems, but
Yes.
we're like communicating this because sometimes when we're tired and we're worn out, it's easy to just be like, okay, fine. And then it sits after you've bought it and the kid played with it for 5 days, or, something happened to it, or it's broken, or whatever. Like, it's just, we get the feelings, we get the emotions behind it. And we just want to encourage just the thinking ahead and kind of going, okay, I'm not going to get this because, in 3 months, my kid's going to graduate and this is what I want to do with him or her. Or
Yeah.
in, this summer, I want to make sure that we do this together. Like, it does take some intentionality if it is something that is a financial strain.
Yes. L Speaking of that, though, that reminds me, let's chat real briefly about our scooter stories.
Oh, ouch.
And she means that literally, you guys.
Uh-huh.
So, well, start with yours, with G, because he had skin in the game. That was something
Literally.
literally because he wanted one of those
Electric scooters.
yeah,
This is 2026. It was 2024.
yeah,
Yeah,
so yeah, yeah,
2024.
I remember.
So just a couple years ago, and he had
G is a little entrepreneur.
I was just gonna say he was 11, so you're all gonna laugh at like his but he has been working since he was 10. He's my 3rd kid. He's been working since he was 10.
I have printed business cards for
Yes,
G
yes.
more than any other child.
Yeah, he is
Mhm.
definitely a worker, and he has a lot of money saved up, more money than any of my other children, and he begged and begged us to buy an electric scooter. And, that's the rage right now. And so we were like, he's the 3rd kid. He is the one that's always on the go. He had a buddy just down the street. We're like, okay, he can pop over there, get himself around. He does his own. He does power washing of trash cans and like people's decks and all the things. So it was like, okay, he can be
Well,
snow removal, like he
so
can be mobile doing all of his little jobs. Like, not a bad idea. So we were like, you know what? We're going to go in on this with you for your birthday, and you're going to pay, 3/4 of it or a little bit under that. And we will pay the other quarter, a little bit over that. So we're like, we're going to make this happen. And it wasn't even 3 months later. Well, he'd been in multiple accidents already that year. He just was a little clumsy, I guess. Bad luck. But this one was 3 months after he had it. He was in a bad scooter accident. The concrete was cut out of a sidewalk, and he was just riding it to go to the homecoming parade up at the high school with some friends or with a friend, and they went over the concrete and it cut off, and he ran into the next one and went flying, broke his scooter in half, and he broke his kneecap and was out for 12 weeks. And that was one of those things that was a mom and dad knew. We were like, "We're not gonna get him. We're not gonna do it. We're not gonna do it." And then we listened to all the, negotiations and all the thoughts, and, we made the decision. We thought it would be okay. And it was unfortunate. And that was his 3rd cat. Well, he was in a brace for that, but he'd already had 2 casts that whole year. So it was just one of those things where we'd had a bad year. We made a bad decision and we had to deal with it. And I had to watch my son be in pain for a while and go through physical therapy and earn his way back. And would you believe he has asked us for more?
Oh, I'm sure.
The scooter, the electric bike, all the things. And we
Yeah.
are like, this is a very resounding no.
Yeah. And
Like, no.
and I remember it I mean, it was I it was that year. I mean, a short time after he had his accident, and then there was, like, a couple of these other stories of
Yeah,
kids
there's some
getting
bad
yeah,
accidents.
bad accidents around
Mhm.
here, even some fatalities
Yeah.
with some accidents of these electric scooters that are going 25
Yeah.
or 15, even 50
And most not
only.
even wearing a helmet.
Yes.
Thank God my son was, by the way.
Yeah.
He had a bruise on his head and a scratch. I mean, his helmet was scratched. The plastic was scratched off. Like, he is so freaking lucky. Praise God. Praise God.
He is, and if he doesn't go into physical therapy, the world is
I know we've talked about it already.
it's
We'll
like,
see what he does.
"You have so much experience." But so one of our it's, after Christmas, so everybody's coming out. We've had some beautiful weather here in
Yeah.
Kansas, and so our girls have gotten to play outside and do the things, and wouldn't you know it, some neighbor kids have gotten electric scooters, and, oh my gosh, my youngest, Jay, she wants one so bad.
Mhm.
So bad. And we had about like, I would say probably 48 to 72 hours of like her and I, like after G, Andrew and I discussed, we were like, no, this is
Mhm.
something that we are full stop on, not going to happen. No motorized
Yep.
way of motorization. What? No motorized.
Did you just say motor tration?
I think I did. Gosh, guys.
That was good.
But anyway, yes, I like to make up words. So, anyways, we were hard on that. Like, that's what. So, and we had thought we had gotten past that stage because we got bikes and,
Yeah.
and then when your friends have something like that, you're like,
Oh, yeah.
oh. And yeah, when we told her no, you would have thought we had told her that she was moving out. I mean, it was
Bye. We
so
don't love you anymore.
yeah, uh-huh. It's the reel that says, like, "Mom said she doesn't love me anymore." "No, I just said I wasn't going to feed you a 3rd dinner to the dog," like one of those faces. And but we had to keep explaining it. And she goes, "I'll pay for it. I'll pay for the whole thing." And
Mhm.
just her, like, gee, she's a saver. She knows how much money she has, and she's like, I'll pay for it, and I can do." And we're like, "No, this isn't about like we love you. This
Mhm.
isn't about you. This is just a decision we've made, and we've made it based on we don't trust others in that."
Mhm.
And then you'll love this. She tried to convince me that it was only boys that got into scooter accidents. She's like, "I'm not stupid like boys."
Oh,
Oh,
dang.
oh, and the girl had a point because I got so far because I was trying to not convince her, but I was trying to explain to her, I'm like, "Look, this is about your safety. This is not about because I don't trust you. I think you are responsible. I think this." And they don't understand that, right? But I went and I Googled fatal scooter accidents. And I read through all these headlines on Google for her and just read them one after another. And one, when you start to do that, you're like, holy cow,
Yeah,
that's
that's really sad.
really sad. All of them were boys.
Yeah.
I had to search for girl to
We
just,
can start looking at car accidents.
yeah,
Then there you go.
yeah. I mean, but I had to, because that was in her mind. She was like, well, boys are reckless. I'm a girl. I was like, I, while you're not completely wrong. That's true. And I know she's my cautious one. She's not my risk taker. So I was like, yeah, but I don't. Anyways, all that to say, it was a long 72 hours of
Mhm.
trying to assure her
So
that
you won the battle,
we
right?
did. We
Good.
did. We are not doing a motorized vehicle and
Motor.
motor tration. No motor tration in the Shire House until driver's licenses.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so it's hard.
Mhm.
I mean, when you're telling them no like that on something and you just all you it's saying no in the uncomfortable and being like, no, this is a hard no. And just like, I mean, it just breaks your heart to
Yeah.
see, like, it's something that, like she said, I'll pay for it. And when you're like, it's not about that.
Mm-mm.
And
It's
it's
about
just
me being the adult and knowing what can happen.
right.
Yeah.
Right. And seeing that
And
this is,
even though I knew, we still decided, and then
yeah, but again,
it's learning.
it's learning.
Mhm.
And you had great justification for it to happen. I mean,
It was
again,
a total accident.
and in
Like,
a
it was
total
not a
accident, right.
something nothing,
He
he
wasn't
didn't do
doing a
anything
trick.
wrong.
He wasn't doing a trick. He wasn't
Yeah.
being reckless.
No.
I mean, again, and that's what I had Tracy send me photos of G. And I said,
Mhm.
please send me because she needs to see what an accident on one of these things look like because it's much different than a skimmed knee on
Yeah.
skid. What? Skid knee? What is it?
Skinned.
Skinned. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Skinned knee from falling
You
off a
need some
bicycle.
coffee?
It's possible. It's possible. Probably just a nap.
No,
Well,
we learned this.
that's
No
true.
nap.
Naps. No naps. Dang you, Dr. Benjamin Long. I will never be able to let that go. Okay. Well, housewives, we hope that this was encouraging. We hope that that you saw where where we fail all the time and that we're not perfect at it either,
No.
that you're not alone, that your kid's not the only one without a scooter.
Yeah.
We both have. So there you go. Two other families.
Well, and
But
it's also too, like, we talked big things. We talked the vacations, we talked the items, we talked the possession, we talked the memories. It's like what we want you to think about is what's the one thing that you wanna do in the next week, in the next month that just creates a memory and stronger relationship with you and a child, even you and your spouse. There's things that you can be doing that doesn't have to be extravagant, but it's intentional. And that's
yes.
what we want to encourage.
And remember that you're doing better than you think because God's using even the simple stuff.
Amen.
So until next time, housewives,
Bye.
bye.